Hey there, Sharam Namdarian here. In this video I'm going to be talking about the concept of being okay being seen for who and what you are, and I'm going to be talking about my own journey when it came to being comfortable with more and more of who I am as a person, especially with being seen online in a particular light. Now this, as always, these videos are going to be talking about the concept of emotional healing and emotional surrender, those two things being pretty much the same thing. This idea that most of the time what ends up happening is we don't let ourselves move forward because we are deeply anchored in the past, whether it comes to pain, anxiety, things like that. We have these reactions, essentially these stored reactions that stop us from moving forward. And that might be a fear, that might be a desire, that might be something negative, but it also could be something positive. Equally to not wanting something to happen, we also hold on and we stop ourselves from moving forward because we want something to happen. And the avoidance of discomfort keeps us in place. So I want to be talking about being seen about who you are, because I look at people's comments or people message me through Instagram and stuff like that. And even my own journey, this has been very synchronistic about the journey we've been on together, because we are on this journey together. And it's honestly like this journey of discovery, but also being seen, discovered. Because we might make a huge internal growth, but sometimes, some people, somewhere along the way, we hide ourselves. We become magnificent beasts, or more specifically, we discover the magnificence within us, and we don't necessarily let that be shown, whether that's online, whether that's in person. I, for example, growing up, used to have a fear of being intense, a fear of intensity. And then I'd get acutely jealous of other people who were allowed to be intense, who gave themselves permission. And that's the key point here, is the giving oneself permission to be oneself and to be seen as oneself. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we are talking about. So there's an interesting thing that happens for me when I share posts online. You know, my little quotes where I'm like, have you ever thought about liking yourself? And what ends up happening is I actually sometimes go on a bit of a journey. I go on a bit of a journey of shame. No, but it's shameful to talk about this. Shouldn't life be good? You know, some people reject their emotions. And so when they reject their emotions, they also reject anything that talks about those emotions. So you'll find that someone who's afraid of being themselves or is not on a journey of discovering might find a video like this hard to watch. Because I'm inviting them to see themselves, essentially. What ends up happening, though, when I'm trying to post a post online, I've talked about this in the past, actually. When I try and post a quote or something online, is I go on a bit of a journey that I have to surrender to the confusion, surrender to the pain, surrender to the fears. And so as I'm posting online, one fear that comes up for me is the fear of being seen a certain way. I don't want to be seen like I'm Mr. Spiritual. Even though in some ways I am, and in some ways I'm just a... don't have a word for it. Scallywag, dickhead, something. So the fear of being seen a certain way is still a fear of being seen. Because if you hold yourself back from being seen a certain way, you in a sense contort your vision, contort yourself to be seen a certain way, and in many cases a person will not take action in the first place. And that's what happened to me. The fear of being seen as too spiritual, too helpful, too whatever, too, oh, he's personal development, there's nothing else to him, is the fear of being seen. So when we get over that fear that holds us back, that holds us in place, often we let ourselves as human beings be seen for who and what we are, unashamed for what exactly that is. And it's a discovery process. It's not like you go from 0 to 100, like just like that. It's a step-by-step process. So for example, with my own journey with posting online, I let it go. I managed to surrender, to process my emotion, to fully let that cycle complete itself. So therefore, I was like, look, some people are going to see me this way. Some people are going to see me as only Sharam Namdarian, the life coach. And people in my life, my personal life, well, if they only see me as that, they clearly don't know me. And it's this understanding that when we have completed the cycle, we are free to look at it. That the fear of being seen a certain way, and the fear of being seen might extend from other people. It might extend from someone else. Often what happens, and this is what I find really interesting about the healing process, is when we heal something of what we are, often what ends up happening is we, like, from our new perspective, from our healed perspective, we actually might realize, it happens to me all the time, sometimes when I'm facilitating this with people, not everyone, but sometimes they have this profound moment of where they got it from. It's like, I wasn't afraid of being seen. So-and-so was afraid of being seen. And I picked it up off them. And I carried it with me for my whole life. And so as we are becoming more comfortable with being seen a certain way, as we are becoming comfortable with more being seen, there is space for who and what we are to exhibit itself in the world. Who and what we are to be known, to be loved for what we are. To dance, to play, to just be the idiot and simultaneously be the genius that you were meant to be the entire time. I do these videos because I think these videos are the videos that need to be made. But also, simultaneously and synchronistically, I think these videos are the videos that I want to make. But also, I want to make a whole bunch of videos. I want to make funny videos. There's Sharam's secret goals. Sharam wants to eventually become a comedian at one point, or an actor, or all these other things. But I, in a similar sense, held myself in place, would not let myself move forward because I was afraid of being seen a certain way. That I'll get pigeonholed by society of, oh, Sharam Namdarian the life coach, Sharam Namdarian the healer, Sharam Namdarian the dating coach. Only one thing. Therefore, I am stuck. No one will take me seriously, or I will limit myself, or I'll spend so much time being this one thing that I'll never be the other thing. And so what do? We stop ourselves from being seen. We stop ourselves from moving forward because we are holding back from one of these aspects of who and what we are. But we can only ever get to that conclusion. Like, sure, seeing a video like this is amazing. Talking to me, amazing. We connect. You get that out of you. But once that cycle has fully completed, once you have surrendered, once you have processed that fear, you are, for all intents and purposes, free from that fear. And it might be complex. You might have to keep doing it over and over and over again. Happens with me. I'm currently going through a phase of my weight. I've currently lost 5 kilos now. 5, 4, something like that. All through surrendering my feelings and blockages around weight. Oh, I can't lose weight. Oh, it's hard. Oh, this, oh, that. And it's quite painful because my head hurts. Oh, my head hurts. It's thinking in a whole new way. There's so much I can share on that. That's been one of my big things I've been working on, is understanding and mapping the journey, at least with myself, when it came to influencing my body, specifically through emotional surrender and through healing. Healing my body, for all intents and purposes. So this being seen in family, seen in career, seen in something. I don't want to be seen a certain way. Limits us, because by saying I don't want to be seen a certain way, we're also saying I do not want to be seen. I do not want to be heard. I do not want to be loved. I will be small. And here's the thing that I find really interesting about this. I'm talking about being seen like it's this big, amazing thing, but being not seen is completely fine and acceptable also. Being small just has its purposes just as much as being big. Because if you, being small, they're like, oh, you should be confident. Being unconfident often is a step and pathway to confidence. Being small is often a step to being big. And sometimes, in some ways, you want to be small. For example, like if I go out and I meet new people, one of my favorite things is like 1-2 punch. Like, people don't know who I am. So I'm a total dickhead. And they find out more about me and it is explosive. And I like that. You know, there was this one time, here's a funny story. Back when I used to be called, this is the only time I've ever been spotted, in Australia specifically. Back when I used to go by the name Harvey, for those people who are watching since those times, what up? But back when I used to be called Harvey, I went out and I was with my mate who used to help me film videos at the time, really good friend of mine. I don't know, I think I'll edit his name out because I'm not quite sure if I should have his name in these videos or not. Anyway, what ended up happening was I went out and I was like, mate, today you're me and I'll be you. I'll be so-and-so and you be Harvey, or you be Sharam. And literally 2 seconds later, someone came up and was like, Harvey, is that you? And I was like, God damn it. Anyway, that's my fun little story, my little claim to fame. Whoopsie, whoopsie. Anyway, so that's this video. This idea that if we hold ourselves in place, or we're afraid of being seen or doing or getting pigeonholed, we essentially hold ourselves in place energetically. And this processing of that fear, that surrender to that fear, lets ourselves process it, and then we can truly let it go, or we can see it for what it is, which is nothing. We can realize that maybe we are afraid of being afraid of being seen because it's like, oh, it's someone else's thing that we've onboarded. Maybe we're being afraid of being seen because we just are afraid of being pigeonholed, and that's actually completely bullshit, because we can expand and we can get pigeonholed and we can move, and that's life. It's a squishy Play-Doh. We move forward, we move back. And also at the idea that this is the final amazing point which slips my mind right as I'm about to say it, was just this idea that, like, it's okay to be small, because being small protects you. Being small is perfectly fine. And maybe it's okay to be afraid to be not seen. You are okay to be, and you're okay not to be. And that, I find, when you are free to be you and you are free not to be you, you have true freedom of who and what you are. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, make sure to leave a like, comment something you learned from this video or something you'd like to share. I'm always reading. I always get like, ooh, exciting, when that happens. And to be honest, I like doing these videos, and if you like them, it helps me do more. But here's the thing. I've healed enough with my own journey with doing these videos that, and this is hard for me to say because it might get construed the wrong way, I no longer need other people to like these videos for me to like these videos. I think in the past I relied on other people liking them for me to actually like them. Now I don't care, or at least I do care because I like them. Like, I care enough to do them, you know what I mean? Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you more. Mwah, bye.